Welcome to the Solid Signal podcast for the week of November 18th, 2019. And the topic of this week's podcast is still standing. I was reminded of this, and if I had a little bit more money for this podcast, I would license that Elton John song. But as it stands, I'll just let you hum it in your head if you know the one I'm talking about. It's very expensive to license, surprisingly so, although, it is a popular song, so I guess it's not all that surprising. Why am I saying still standing? Solid Signal recently celebrated 17 years in the business, and that means we've outlasted some really big names. In the consumer electronics space, we've outlasted CompUSA, we've outlasted Circuit City and H.H. Gregg, and numerous consumer electronics websites that have come and gone. It's kind of funny when you think about the web landscape that existed back in 2002. We all thought we were so advanced, but honestly, no, we had a lot to learn. I like to laugh about going back to archive.org and looking at the very first version of Solid Signal's website. But honestly, that took an awful lot of work. It took some very talented people back in those days, and it's still kind of standing. It still stands up, and solidsignal.com today is still standing, and there's an interesting reason why, and I think that you can answer it for yourself if you think about it. It's not the website. A website, a self-service thing is great, but honestly, nobody is going to get too incredibly impressed by a website, especially since we know that we'll never compete against much bigger sites that I guarantee you shop at every single day. No, realistically, where we compete is on service. And service is not something you normally associate with websites. Service was still pretty rare in 2002 when we first started up, and it's even more rare now. The idea that you can actually pick up the phone and talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about with the products that you want to buy, that's unique. That's not something that you find in this particular space very often, and that is the reason that we're still standing. It's funny because I'm reminded recently that some of our newest hires were in diapers when solidsignal.com first started up. That's amazing when you think about it. We're almost to the point where within a couple of years, we'll be hiring people who weren't even alive when solidsignal.com went live. That's, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to me. And it speaks to a legacy of customer service and customer satisfaction that you just can't get anywhere else, something that I'm personally very impressed with. I have been with the company for about half of its lifetime, and I've been pleased to see its growth. I've been pleased to see the improvements that we've made over time, our ability to serve bigger and bigger customers, and that's something that most people don't realize. By the way, if you are a fan of solidsignal.com, you may not realize that there's another whole side to what we do at Signal Group LLC. We handle some of the largest accounts in the country, and not just with self-service, added to your cart and you're done kind of stuff. I'm talking about planning and scheduling and permitting, installing service after the sale. I'm talking about being able to get to the same rep over and over again when you need that person, even at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, which is incredible. So solidsignal.com is still standing for a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason I think is that we care. It's rare to find that in a website in 2019. I continue to think it's going to be rarer and rarer as we move on, but that's not going to stop us from caring. It's not going to stop us from bringing you the best stuff, the stuff that you truly want. We don't know what that'll be in 5 years, but we'll have figured it out by then, I guarantee it. We're still standing. We're still glad that you're here, and we're still the one that you're looking for. Speaking of still the one, that's another song that I can't quite license because I don't have the budget for it. That's about it for me on the Solid Signal podcast for this week. Listen in, and if you like what you hear, go ahead and subscribe, because I have new podcasts every week. There's new video content every week, and I just love it if you would go ahead and push that like button and that subscribe button. Makes me look good internally anyway. Thanks, and have a great week.